When I came out as transgender, my aunt told everyone I had died. My cousin made a memorial slideshow with sad music, saying, "We lost a beautiful girl." When I showed up alive, they screamed I was possessed and called security. I got condolence cards instead of calls, until I stood on that stage, holding an award dedicated to my true self. I find out I'm dead on a Wednesday. Not metaphorically, not in some edgy, dramatic sense. Literally, my phone buzzes with a tag on Facebook. It's my cousin Lacey. She's posted a black and white slideshow of me, old photos from when I still looked like the girl they expected me to be. There's soft piano music playing, one of those royalty-free tracks they use in cheap funeral videos. Caption reads, "We lost a beautiful soul too soon. Heaven gained an angel. Rest in peace, sweetheart." My jaw tightens. I scroll down, there are over 200 comments already, praying hands emojis, sad faces, people I haven't heard from in years writing things like, "She was always so full of life. God has her now. What happened?" I stare at the screen, stunned. I'm breathing, I'm blinking, I'm not dead, I just transitioned. And apparently in the eyes of my family, that means I'm gone. The next day, I get a card in the mail. It's from my Aunt Melanie. She's the matriarch of the family, the one everyone listens to. Inside the card is a Bible verse about death and resurrection. No note, no return address, just grief. They're mourning me like I died because I had the nerve to live as who I am. Let me rewind, I'm Leo. I'm 28. I grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina, tight-knit Southern Baptist family. My dad left when I was little and my mom passed when I was 16. Aunt Melanie took me in like a charity project. She made it clear I owed her everything. But even back then, I didn't fit the mold. I wasn't the sweet, quiet girl she wanted. I shaved my head at 17, refused to wear dresses to church. I had to sneak off to a therapist in Charlotte just to talk about what I was going through. When I finally came out as transgender, it wasn't even dramatic. I sent a message in the family group chat. Just said, "Hi everyone, I go by Leo now, he, him." That was it. No reply. Not a single one of them said anything. I thought maybe they needed time. Instead, they wrote my obituary. And that's just the beginning. I book a flight back home. I want answers, closure, maybe even some kind of conversation. I walk into my aunt's church that Sunday. I'm not trying to make a scene, I just want to talk to them face to face. Lacey sees me first. Her eyes go wide. She grabs her phone and starts whispering fast into it. Seconds later, Aunt Melanie stands up from her pew like she's seen a demon. She points at me and screams, "The devil walks among us." People turn. A few gasp. One woman starts praying out loud. The pastor, who baptized me when I was 11, grabs the mic and says, "Security, please escort this man out." Man, that's the only thing they get right. I leave heart pounding, not from fear but from rage. They didn't just reject me. They tried to erase me. Pretended I never existed. Lied to everyone who knew me. And worst of all, they convinced themselves they were righteous for doing it. So I make a decision. If they want to bury me, I'll give them a resurrection they'll never forget. Question for you all. What would you do if your family faked your death to avoid accepting you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're still here, hit that like and subscribe, because this story is just getting started. After I get thrown out of the church, I sit in my rental car across the street. The same one I used to park in as a teenager when I'd pretend to go to youth group, just to get out of the house. Except now, I'm not hiding. I'm planning. First thing I do is take screenshots of everything. The Facebook post, the comments, the condolence cards. I even record myself holding them all just for proof. Not for revenge yet, just insurance. A record. Evidence that I didn't imagine this nightmare. Back in Portland, my real home now, I sit at my laptop with a beer and an open Google Doc. That's when I decide. If they wanted to write a story where I died, I'd write the real one. One where I rise. At first, it's just a blog. I write about what happened. I use real names, real dates. I don't add drama, I don't need to. The truth is bad enough. My aunt faked my death because I'm transgender. That's the title. By morning, it's gone viral. Thousands of shares. Tens of thousands of comments. LGBTQ groups repost it. A few influencers boost it. I do a podcast interview 2 days later. Then another. Then a radio station in Seattle invites me on. It blows up. And with the attention comes the backlash. Keep family matters private. You're embarrassing them. Why would you do this to your own blood? But those voices are drowned out by the people who have lived through the same thing. Kids kicked out, teens sent to conversion camps, adults disowned just for existing. My inbox fills with messages from strangers who call me brave. I don't feel brave, I feel pissed off, and I haven't even started. 2 weeks later, I get an email. It's from the Pacific Northwest Equality Awards. They're nominating me for the Rising Voice Award. The irony isn't lost on me. The event's in 4 months. Black tie, media coverage, all that. I say yes immediately. I start speaking more, writing more. A few offers for freelance columns come in. One from the Oregonian. Another from them. I tell my story every time. Not for pity, but so no one else gets to have their life hijacked by people who claim to love them. I don't reach out to Aunt Melanie, or Lacey, or anyone else. I let the silence hang like a bad smell in an old church pew. But they reach out to me. First, it's my Uncle Mike, who's never texted me in his life. This is hurting the family, please stop. Then my cousin Jamie. Why are you doing this to us? And finally, a DM from Lacey. You're ruining my life, my boss saw your blog, you need to take it down. No apology, no remorse, just fear of consequences. I don't respond. But I do forward the message to my lawyer friend Casey. Casey's a shark. She's also trans, she's also pissed. Let them sue, she says. I dare them. They don't. Instead, they start scrubbing their online presence. Aunt Melanie deletes her Facebook. Lacey takes down the post. A few of them block me. It doesn't matter. The internet remembers, and I'm just getting warmed up. 3 months go by. The night of the awards arrives. I wear a black suit. Clean cut, no tie, just a pin on my lapel with my pronouns, he, him. I'm not nervous, surprisingly, just steady, focused. The ballroom's packed, hundreds of people. There's a camera crew, live streams, journalists. When my category comes up, I barely hear the presenter say my name. Leo Hart for his fearless storytelling and advocacy. Applause. Loud, real, I walk up to the stage. Lights hit my face, microphones in front of me. And I see them, back of the room. My Aunt Melanie, Lacey, 2 other cousins. They came. Of course they did, not because they care, but because they heard I was getting attention. Awards, headlines, they want to control the narrative again. But I've got the mic now. I take a breath. Then I say, 14 months ago my family told the world I was dead. They posted a slideshow, wrote condolence cards, and never said my name again. They wanted to erase me. I pause. The room is dead silent. I want to thank them, people murmur, because if they hadn't tried to bury me, I never would have grown this tall. I lift the award above my head. This isn't just for me. This is for every kid who was told their truth was a funeral. This is for everyone who lived through being mourned while still breathing. We're still here. Applause erupts. Some people stand. Cameras flash. I step off the stage. Melanie is pale. Lacey looks like she's chewing glass. I walk right past them. They don't say a word, but this isn't over. They came here for damage control, which means they still care how they look. That's their weakness. Now I'll use it. The first message comes the next morning. Aunt Melanie emails me from some burner account with a fake name in the from field. Like I wouldn't notice. She signs it. Love always, Aunt M. Leo, we need to talk. You've made your point. Let's handle this privately now. You're hurting people. Hurting people. They faked my death and blocked me from every family gathering for the last year. They didn't even send a message when I was hospitalized with pneumonia last winter. But now that I'm visible, now that people are listening, now they want to talk, I delete the email. But I save a copy just in case. 3 days later, a bigger opportunity lands in my lap. A local nonprofit is launching a new campaign to support trans youth in rural communities. They ask me to be the face of it. Not just the story, the face. Billboards, ads, videos, the whole campaign. And they want to shoot the promo in Gastonia. I say yes without blinking. I fly in 2 weeks later. Hair trimmed, beard shaped, black jacket. Press crew follows me through the streets I used to bike down to school. We shoot in front of the old church, the one they threw me out of. And as I stand on the sidewalk with the mic clipped to my collar, I look across the parking lot. She's there. Aunt Melanie, leaning against her SUV, watching me. Face hard, I wave. She turns and gets back in the car. Good. She knows I'm not going anywhere. When the billboard goes up, it's 3 blocks from her house. It's not confrontational. It's a photo of me, smiling, arms folded. A simple caption, Still here, still me. Trans lives matter everywhere. The local newspaper runs a piece on it, a positive one. I do an interview with a Charlotte TV station the next week, and that's when the whispers start. One of my cousins, Rachel, the quiet one who never said much, calls me. She'd cut ties after I came out too, but now she sounds different. Leo, I just wanted to say I'm sorry, I should have spoken up. Her voice shakes. I didn't believe them, but I was scared. They told us if we supported you, we were turning our backs on God. I take a breath. What changed? You, she says. You didn't disappear. We meet for coffee. She brings her husband. He shakes my hand like a human being. That's more than I can say for the rest of them. Rachel tells me she's pregnant. She wants her daughter to grow up knowing people like me are part of the world, not some secret to hide. I'm stunned. I don't cry, but something in me softens. Maybe it wasn't just about revenge. Maybe this is bigger than that. Maybe it's about reclaiming space. 2 weeks later, I get a call from a Charlotte podcast. They want me and Rachel to do a joint episode. She agrees. It's the first time someone from my family speaks publicly in support of me. After it airs, my cousin Jake, Aunt Melanie's son, sends me a message. Look, man, I still don't get all this, but maybe I was wrong. I don't reply right away. I don't trust it. Not yet, but the cracks are forming. And that's when I get the package, no return address, handwritten label. I open it. Inside is a thick stack of printed photos. All of me, childhood, high school, some I haven't seen in years. On top is a note. We loved you before you changed. We loved her. You took her away from us. There's no signature. I flip through the stack. Me in a dress at prom, looking like I want to disappear. Me on Christmas morning, forcing a smile. Me at the baptism, hands clenched in my lap. They're trying to remind me who I was. But they don't understand. I'm not him instead of her. I'm me because I survived her. And if they thought this was going to break me, it only fuels me. I take the photos and scan them. Then I record a new video. I lay the photos out on a table, one by one. Then I say, these pictures show someone trying to survive, someone trying to please everyone else. I don't mourn who I was. I honor him for getting me here. I post it. It gets picked up by a media outlet in Atlanta. Then comes the real twist. A whistleblower from my aunt's church contacts me anonymously. They say Melanie used church funds to pay for the memorial slideshow software and ads, that she submitted it as a grief ministry expense. That's fraud. I forward it to a reporter I know in Charlotte. 3 days later, the story breaks. Local church investigated for financial misuse tied to false death memorial. They don't use names, but anyone who's been watching my story knows exactly who it is. Aunt Melanie starts bleeding supporters. Quietly, of course. She steps back from leading Sunday school. Her face isn't on the website anymore. A few people leak her emails online. And then, just like that, she starts messaging me again, not asking me to stop, but begging me to help her. They're making me a villain. You've turned everyone against me. That's not true. She turned herself into one, and I haven't even used the final card I've been holding. The secret she's spent 20 years hiding. But I'm about to. I've kept quiet about it for years, mostly because I thought it wasn't my place. Because I didn't want to be like them, people who weaponize shame to control others. But then she went and faked my death, tried to erase me like a typo in a church bulletin. So now I don't care. The secret is simple. Aunt Melanie had a child in high school, a boy. She gave him up for adoption and told everyone she had a complicated medical issue that made her miss prom. Only a few people in the family ever knew the truth. I found out because I overheard her on the phone late one night when I was 16, crying, saying his name, Colton. Said she wished she could find him, said it haunted her. She'd done the very thing she hated me for, made a life-altering choice to survive. And then she built her entire personality around judging others for doing the same. I never said a word about it, until now. I go back to my blog, but this time I publish under a new title. The Cost of Silence, what my aunt taught me about shame. I don't name her directly. I don't reveal Colton's full story. I just write about hypocrisy, about secrets, about how judgmental people often carry their own hidden wounds, and they punish you for reminding them of what they gave up. Within 2 days, I get an email. It's not from Aunt Melanie, it's from Colton. He read the piece. He knows. He's 37 now, lives in Virginia, married, 2 kids. He found out years ago that his birth mother was from Gastonia, but the adoption records were sealed. He asks me to confirm what he already suspects, so I do. I send him what I know, dates, a few photos, and the name. He replies with a short, heavy line, "Thank you, I've waited my whole life to know who I came from." And then, "I won't contact her, but she deserves to know I exist." I don't message Melanie. I don't have to. I let Colton do what he feels is right. A week later, a friend from back home tells me that Melanie's left the church. Not took a break, not stepped back, left, gone. Apparently, someone put a copy of my blog on her windshield during Sunday service. She didn't speak, just got in her car and drove off. 3 days after that, she sells her house. Lacey moves to Wilmington. And the last few relatives still pretending I'm a ghost. Now they call me Leo when they think it'll help them look progressive. I don't respond, not out of spite, out of peace, because this part is over. But one final thing happens, something I didn't expect. I get invited back to Gastonia, not by family, but by the local library. They're holding a youth panel about resilience. They want me to speak, not as a survivor, not even as a trans person, just as me, so I go. I stand in the same town that once erased me, holding a mic again. And I say, you don't have to let anyone bury your truth, not family, not fear, not shame. Your story matters, even if you're the only one who believes it at first. Afterward, a kid with purple hair walks up to me. He's maybe 15, barely taller than my shoulder. He doesn't say much, just hands me a sticky note. On it he's written, "Still here, still me." I nod, "Yeah, kid, me too."